Okay, we are good.
Maybe live.
We are live.
On.
Yes, we are recording.
Okay. Well, the work session, the Morrow County Commission to order. And then we have one item, discussion on tax foreclosure properties, review recommended actions. So I guess I'll turn it over to Matt.
Yes, so we'll, Justin and our county assessor, Mike Gorman, who's here, and we've been talking about several of the property tax foreclosed properties that the county has online. With the changes in state legislation and ORS, we kind of have two tiers of properties. We have properties that we've received before 2023 that can be disposed of with clear intention of that. The ones that we've received anything since that time, there's still ongoing discussion on how excess funds will be managed in that. So what we're discussing today are properties from before 2023. We have a list of about 20 or so. Justin, Mike, and I have went through that list. Mike prepared a great little handout. You've got a copy of the cover sheet, and I can pull up the maps if you want to look at it on the screen here as well. But what the intent of today is to go through these, and Mike can address and Justin can address the actual process of it and determine based on the suggested actions if that's the way the Board of Commissioners would like to proceed. We can take that consensus, and from there we will prepare the necessary orders and whatnot to take care of the property and dispose of it according to the dictates of the commission. Did I get it right? Mike?
Kind of, yeah.
Please proceed.
The cutoff date was it was in 2023, but it was if they received their 1 year redemption notice as of a certain date. So this list precluded that date. So these are I'll call these legacy properties that don't necessarily fall under the current or newest foreclosure rules regarding the U.S. Supreme Court case Tyler versus Hennepin. Other counties, a number of other counties that had some of these legacy properties have been, trying to peddle them and do whatever as well. So I don't know how you guys want to go through this. If you want to go through every little property, or a number of these are just very small bits of property that aren't necessarily buildable. There are some buildable, there are some with already have current structures and stuff on them. So I'll leave it up to the commission to decide how they want to proceed.
I think we could go through them one by one. I mean, and if it's just real quick, then
Okay.
just real quick.
And I thought I grabbed a pencil or a pen on the way. Would somebody have an extra?
Oh, okay.
There's a whole bunch of them. All right. Thank you, Matt. All right. We'll just go right down the list. Matt, if you want to bring up like our map or something.
Well,
There you go.
I do have.
Okay. So this first one, it is on, I forget the name of that road. Is it Juniper Road?
Says
No.
Juniper Hall.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry if the road name escapes me, but it sure does. Anyway, the
Little Juniper.
Little Juniper Road. So it takes off, it's a couple miles west of the Bombing Range Road, takes off Bombing Range and heads over and hits Ella Road. So you know where I'm talking about. And it's right in the bottom of Juniper Canyon. This is kind of an interesting piece. I can't even remember how we found it, but there was a, landowner back in the early 1900s that had donated this land to uh, something called the Juniper Hall. I don't know if it was some type of local social group or something at the time. I don't know that there was ever any improvements made to the property, but there was a deed restriction in that deed where it said if the Juniper Hall organization doesn't utilize the property for whatever purpose, then it reverts back to the owner. Here we are, and I can't remember the name of the owner at the time. Anyway, since then, back in the I think it was mid 2000s, Morrow County did uh, some road straightening here and acquired some right of way, and I think it might have been at that time maybe when we found it. Could be we've doing the deed research. So anyway, right now this 2-acre parcel sits right in the middle of county road right of way. May or may not have the the gravel road going through the middle of it. May or may not be a part of that existing rock quarry. So, um, uh, I, you know, on 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 paper and in theory, this is a 2-acre lot. It's its own discrete parcel prior to planning laws. It could be sold as a buildable, like a home site out there. It has public access all around it. But just because of its location and being surrounded by county road right away, that might not be the ideal purpose. It may just be best for the county to retain this and keep it as road right away. So, but I don't know. That's up to you.
For reference, this is where that old gravel pit is that we were at one time considering to be the possible sheriff's rifle or shooting range.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this one seems to be pretty straightforward. Incorporate into the county.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to make or break housing in Morrow County.
No. Okay. So now we'll move down to the next 3 properties. This is interesting. This is out in a rural subdivision, southwest of Irrigan, Cane Lane. So when the developers developed the subdivision, they did not dedicate any road. After the fact, they tried to dedicate it by deed, but there was no county acceptance. So
this is Columbia River Highway. Here's Depot Lane,
yeah.
Southwest of Oregon, and this one is this Cane Drive over here.
Yeah. So a couple of different things happened, and this happened way before my time here at the county. This was back in the 80s. I think the county the assessor's office at the time created little tax lots in front of each individual regular lot and assessed taxes to those people. Some people just didn't pay taxes on it, so we foreclosed. Some people combined it with a regular tax lot. And so the county owns 3 separate parcels here. My suggestion would be, and this road isn't very long, my suggestion would be, the county to keep the ones we have foreclosed on, go to the neighboring landowners that still own and are keeping up on their taxes, acquire the right of way, and just make this a county road. And it's a couple hundred yards long. Run run a road grader down it once in a while and throw some gravel on it every couple of years, and then it just really cleans up the mess. In the future, there's, for the people buying and selling properties on this road, it will clean up any access issues, public access issues for future, development or future sales. And I just think it's in the best interest of the citizens to do that. I mean, it's up to you. It's just my suggestion.
So you would be suggesting that we would try to acquire like 220
Yeah. And then,
whatever this is right here.
yep. And then go over to the right, one more lot, and then up.
Where you?
Right underneath 200. Yep, right there too.
Oh, and this too?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you won't have to buy the property. Just say, hey, we're going to turn this into a county road. We'll run a grader down here once in a while and maybe throw some gravel on it once in a while. Give us an easement. Give us the right of way. It's 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a little bit different than kind of the case in point that we have in Westland, where we have public access ways that
Yes.
can't be added to the county road system. Since this property hasn't been designated as a public access way, it's just forfeited parcels, this could potentially, we'd have to check on it, be able to be added to the road inventory. So we could maintain it with road funds and such.
We can't add public access ways, but we can add non-roads.
If you dedicate a road through a parcel designation, it can be added to the county inventory. Public access roads in the state of Oregon are odd. You can't add that in as a road afterwards. It's a weird setup.
So I guess
There's because there's got to be a way to do that.
No, this is
I guess the county could vacate it. Yes, okay, I've seen this happen. The county could vacate the public access because they're the authority for out West Glen and Wagon Wheel is the same situation. And then I think they could turn around and make a county road out of it.
This is one of those items that we discussed, came up at that last session at County College, and all the public works people are like, don't touch those public access ways because there's ORS restrictions on that. But this is not designated as a public access way. It's just parcels that have been.
It was weird. Like I said, it was like back in the late 60s, early 70s that the owners at the time, they tried to dedicate it, but the county never accepted it. So that deed is irrelevant.
That would have been in the late 70s.
Okay.
So it's just north of my parents' house.
Right.
This came in after my parents moved.
Okay.
yes.
So this is not.
If the neighbors are amenable to having a county road, I don't see what on earth
Yeah,
to do with it.
Like I said, it's only I don't know if it's 300 or 400 yards long. It's not going to be a big deal.
Is this road right here county road?
Yes.
Yeah, that's West State Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paved.
So, so I think that'd be fine. What do you think, Jeff? It's more your country.
My question would be, is that the legal access to those properties on both sides?
It would be.
Huh?
That's
the current access.
I wonder how when that property changes hands, if it ever changes hands, that doesn't get recognized as access in a title search.
I don't know.
Anyway, no, I'm in favor of it
Yeah.
because it helps the property owners there. It
Right.
just makes sense up and down the line. I'm just curious of how they've kind of called that. If they sold their property, how.
Sometimes title companies can get creative.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I don't know which one it is.
If we're interested in that, what I can do is myself, Public Works and legal counsel can just make sure on public access, county road dedication, and report back to the commission on the status of those.
Yeah.
That would be my reason for wanting it, is to to enhance or
Yeah.
make those properties.
If,
Yeah,
back and whenever, if the county would have accepted, I don't know why they didn't. They may not have even known that the owners at the time were trying to dedicate something to the public. And, but anyway, if it was dedicated to the public, then we wouldn't be here. We would be in this situation. So, it was,
An oversight of some kind.
yep, that's what I believe.
Yeah, my concerns with it is that, I think, like Gus was saying, or you were saying, dealing with like this piece here, and this piece here is at least, and I know these lines may not be
Right.
actual, but based off the lines, people have built out to the edge. And what do we do with that?
I don't think that's a big deal because that happens a lot anyway. If they build, if it's a fence or something, I doubt there's, I doubt
Well,
it.
like this guy's, I'm not sure if that's a structure or what there, but I mean, if that's built there, then, if you changed it to the property line
Yeah.
here, then he wouldn't meet setbacks. And then, I can understand creating county road and whatever, but generally the county's policy is, for a county road, we want it to be through, to be connecting to something else. This goes in and dead ends. So, those are the only points I'm bringing up,
Yeah.
I don't have a solution, Gus. Because that's what you're gonna ask.
Yeah, this is
gonna ask.
this is kind of a unique situation, an anomaly, if you
Yeah.
will.
And I
And
understand.
I think if, just in the best interest of the public, I guess do what's right. It's no real
Yes.
fault of anyone's. And if we can work around some of those other issues,
I don't have real heartburn against it. I just, bringing up issues.
Mhm.
I don't have a solution.
you'd have to ask is, you have a either or, you have to do something.
Yeah.
Do you leave it like it is? Do you try to sell it to the adjacent? Do the plan you're talking about.
well, and
Pick one. Yeah.
as far as setback issues, I guess you could say it's grandfathered in. I mean, because it's already
You could have Rory walk out there and, get his perspective.
well, it could get maybe county surveyor out there to go out and take a quick look and
Yeah.
and I'm happy to provide. We can use the description off the deed that they tried to dedicate it as a basis for, the description for making it.
County road, yeah.
Like I say, I'm not really opposed to them just raising issues
Yeah.
without a solution. But did you describe yourself as nosy or anything?
Okay.
My wife says I'm. I said I'm curious.
So here we have a 40-acre parcel that back in the 80s, I think, early or 90s, the BLM had sold. There was several of these around the county, a handful anyway, and they sold these little 40s off here and there. This particular one, somebody, not even from Oregon, I think, bought it. And then I think they died and their heirs didn't want anything to do with it. So they just let it go back to the county. It's surrounded by, there's no access.
So
It's a steep hill and a canyon. Doesn't have a lot of value. It's surrounded by a ranching family out west of Hardman.
and Hardman's right there.
Yeah.
This is the parcel over there.
Yeah. So my suggestion of this would be, contact the landowner. I'm sure has been utilizing it, grazing it for ever and ever and ever. So to talk to the landowner and see if they're interested in purchasing that.
My question is, someone establishes a price to sell it to them, right?
And for
That'd
these,
be you.
correct, that's be kind of be a reasonable price, smaller, but So the parcel for these for a sale to a private individual, it's 15,000 or less on the assessor's tax roll, and then kind of being unbuildable as for replacement of a dwelling under the current zoning laws. So that when we first looked at that, we were like, oh, 40 acres, how does it make it work? It's like, well, it's a landlocked 40.
Yeah.
No other utilities or anything else out there. So like, okay, I think we can make that, and it's EFU, I think, zone. So like, okay, we can probably make this one work for an unbuildable basis. Some other times we think about that, we think about slivers. I think the next one's like a slivers. I'm like, okay, that's not buildable. Sell to the next person. And this was left at 15,000. That's fine. For the at a price the governing body that the other body considers reasonable. So yeah.
What if you go to them and say, well, we're gonna sell this? No, we're using it anyway. You know,
Do we put fences up just for fun?
can we put fences?
Yeah, I guess just for how much.
I don't know. I would hope.
Yard rent.
I would hope.
Or you're right. We don't.
I would hope that the landowner would be
Oh, I
interested.
would too. I was just.
But you're right.
I guess then, we,
Put it up for auction.
well, or because it's below that $15,000 threshold, of value, you could advertise it and somebody else could come buy it. And then they could pass away in their heirs, say, what can I do with this? I don't want it. And then, 20, 30 years down the road, we own it again.
The landowner, the adjacent landowner is the same all the way around, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we flexible on what they can buy it, sell for, or buy it for?
Yeah.
On a price?
You can set the price.
Okay, well, I think you should be able to unload at some price.
Mhm.
That-
Yes.
That makes sense to sell it to them.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay. Next, we move all around the county here. We're back in Erie again. And we have, this is off of Columbia or
Columbia, the old home.
yeah, okay, yeah. It was a sliver of land deed to a historic deed omission, and so we foreclosed on it, gosh, back in 2013. That was before I was assessor, probably, or maybe one of the first things I did, or tax collector, I mean. Anyway, it's a long, skinny piece. It wasn't like an old road right of way that had been vacated or anything. It appears that the owner of tax lot 2400 to the west has been using the property.
Well, I think that if you can go to Screamer, we can see more.
Yeah.
The tax lot 2300 and one right to the north of it. That's how they gain
Is
access.
that how they do it?
Yes.
I don't know what to do with this one then. My first suggestion would be to
Who gains access?
give it to 2400.
Now, you would
Oh,
consider,
wait a minute. I do remember now. There is, there's already an easement to get to those northern properties across 2400. So,
2300 and 2100, that's the
Yeah.
access.
and there's already an easement on this tax lot for those properties.
2400.
Yeah.
So there's an easement, plus there's this sliver.
Yeah.
So the easement's on 2400.
Yes.
And well, it looks like it slips
Probably on
into both.
2401 too, so probably.
Well,
They're using 2401.
That's what's been probably happening, right?
now in this situation, we have multiple adjacent property owners. Who chooses who gets to buy it?
Well, I think that on this one, because this would serve as the access to 2300 and 2100, I think that it should somehow go to 2400 with an easement granted for those other parcels to use.
Well, I do too. That's logic. But do we make that determination?
You can make the determination.
Auction or what?
it doesn't have to go to
We
auction.
just go, we can sell it to whoever we want. If
So
so,
long as it's under 15,000 and not buildable.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
And are we required to send notice to adjoining neighbors or anything like
Not for
that?
the sale, no, not for ones like this. We'll decide who to sell it to.
Yeah. So I agree.
We could do it,
I
but
mean, the other thing is we could split it up into more tiny sections. I don't think that that's a great idea. So let's just sell it at 24 and make the easement actually match what's probably being used.
Yeah, let's start a big fight.
Well,
that's
I would-
25 and 25 by one. I can see, hold on.
I would caution creating more easements. There's already a dedicated easement just because, and we don't know, I mean, unless somebody goes out and surveys it and, we can't look at this picture and determine where that
No.
easement is.
No, you're
So,
sorry. I didn't mean attach an easement to it. I meant because there's obviously an easement that's kind of riding that line anyways. Let the owner of 2400 deal with that.
okay, absolutely. Thank you. I agree with that. All right. We're still up in there again, and then I think we move south now.
Quite a few slivers.
Oh, yes. Okay, this is out south of Arigan on Division. You can see this, there's a road or a driveway here, but it's not like actual platted street or road. What happened when this partition happened, they, whatever they did here, I don't know why they did that. And so there's this little sliver of stuff there. It's got some utility things on it. It's very small. My suggestion here was, and it's outside the city of Arigan, city limits. So, county just incorporated into the road right away or keep.
It's got utilities on it. Yeah, road right away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that the owner of 2300 would
I
really.
believe that section of Division is County Road. That might be City Street.
No, it's outside the city.
Well, Knapp Street's outside the city, but Division, that section of Division,
Well, if it's
Division continues down to Wyoming
division continues all the way to Depot,
and, well,
but
Division,
the city limits stop north of this road, north of this
well, I
tax
think that the 2300 is probably in the city limits. On the other side of Division is city limits. This all over here.
I would have to
in the
look-
city limits.
I would have to look at a different map.
Because the high school is just to the west of that, and you go a little bit more south. On the west side of Division is where the elementary school is. So
here's the little section in question.
Oh, wow.
oh, that's fun.
Right on the
Oh,
line.
I see what you're saying, Jeff. Okay, so what you're saying,
So I was probably mistaken. So by
So this
probably is county,
yeah.
and this is all city. I see what I was mistaken. I was thinking this might be in the city limits.
Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking that the city limits line was up there, that this was also in the county. So, if this is a city road still, you're correct then.
So
I see a perfect place for
Should
them
be-
to go.
oh, but the Knapp Road where that easement area would be, the turn area is still it's county road or not?
No,
Is
it's
it?
county road.
Knapp isn't, okay.
So
It is
should we
not.
give it to the city then?
Probably change that to that.
Yeah.
With that.
Because Knapp Street's its own.
Different lines to sell.
It is or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And we talk about for other ones for a public body like that, Usually it's just more of a condition of 20 years and not having a cost. We don't have to sell for a reasonable price. And then there's, just like the city, if I only have that same one.
I wouldn't be worried about them selling that.
No. And it's definitely going to be used for public purpose for 20 years more.
Okay. Now we come down here to Hepner, and we have a couple little slivers. This is heading out of town, past the old swimming pool, and this is kind of a goofy area anyway. There's some other issues with the way these tax lots were created way back when, but we found this, I think it was a historic deed omission where they missed 20 or 40 feet or something on a call. I would suggest that we sell this to the owner of tax lot 2500. I think they've been, this is a very steep, comes off the highway, and then there's an old access that comes up to this property. The city main, old north or south Main Street comes up here. Like this is a very steep bank, and there's an old driveway here that this property uses for access. But my suggestion is sell it, or deed it over to the owner of tax lot 2500.
I think 2,500 makes sense.
Is it worth any money?
No. Well, some things like this, if we can get like the $52 recording fee or whatever out of them,
I mean, yeah, it's a steep bank with just a driveway on it for somebody else.
Yep.
Okay.
And when the county deeds stuff, we'll just do it by quit claim. No, we don't warrant anything. We just quit claim deed. Here you go.
No, and when I say, yeah, I mean, I think we should be thinking about how do we get the best return for the citizens of Morrow County, if there's value in that.
Right.
It's just not worth it,
Well,
I think most of these, the reason we have them is because
correct.
they're not worth much.
Correct. All right. And this next property is right in the middle of Willow Creek, and it was one of these things. Hepner is really have some issues around town where you have a subdivision over here, and the description for it starts at the top corner of the section, and then you have things over here, and the description started at the bottom corner of this section, and they don't jive. So this kind of left this strip there. The county also owns, I believe, this is coming up, this tax lot, and
Yes.
this one over here too, and then another one. And the city of Hepner has expressed interest in, I think, this one, the one north of it, and I think this also would be a good addition to put on the city of Hepner.
Well, Mike,
Mhm.
we talked about you giving it to the city of Hepner. Right?
Give it, sell it, deed it,
Well,
whatever you want to call it.
I was reading this through now. On the new rules, there were some certain things that it had to or should be used for infrastructure.
Well, and
Or is that not, that's just a new,
that's okay. That is, we're interpreting that doesn't affect these properties because we acquired those before that cutoff date of 2023. But the problem with the new rules, it says you have to give it to like a nonprofit or something. There's still the statute in here that says we can give it to the city or sell it, deed it, whatever, so they conflict. Oh, two separate statutes give two different.
right?
So which one is real, or are they both real? Or so until that either gets fixed by legislation or challenged, and we have case law from
Courts.
tax court or some other court, Don't know.
Isn't there, if you give it to a municipality, isn't there stipulation on what they're gonna use it for?
Mhm.
For you to, yeah.
Or yeah, for public purpose. That's the only thing, making sure, just like we're doing with the city of Ione, is making sure they haven't realized, okay, what do you guys want to do with this? Sometimes because they might say, oh, we'll take it and sell it to somebody else. No, we got implementation on this for public purpose or
And this is Willow Creek, you know, and I know you can't necessarily believe the picture, the location, but I truly believe that is the creek.
and some more could live way on the creek.
So my question on this is that if we goes to the city of Ventnor, where's their legal access to the parcel?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's our legal access to the person? Same as what the county has.
You know, technically, if we were to,
But it's a waterway, so there may be.
Well, up the creek.
Paddle down.
Truly, you're up the creek.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
one of the things is the combination of 7099 and 7,000 and the other one, conceivably, if Hefner ever wanted to do a nice little creekside trail, which there's talk about with the library starting up over here. It would be nice. I know I had to coordinate with some state agencies that were going through and cleaning out the creek, and we just gave them permission to stage on the property. Hefner, the city of Hefner is interested, and I'd love to get it off our books.
Oh, I don't disagree with getting it off our books. You just, again, how do we access it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, if they wanted to access it, they could, you know, try to find somebody willing to give them access. Plus, if they have expressed interest in this lot, you know, so hopefully they could gain access, you know, that 10 or 12 feet here or here to get to there.
Well, unless we're not required to have access to give it to them.
No,
Well, then I would say that's their fault.
it's a moot point. Yeah.
Let them handle it.
Mm-hmm. Now we'll jump down to Ione. These are in order of the year that we acquired them, so that's why we're jumping around. All right, we're down in Ione, along the highway. This is the old Route 74 Beecher's Restaurant. City Park's over here. We have this little lot here that previously had a single wide trailer or residence on it. And we foreclosed on it. And one or two owners ago of tax lot 1500, he took it upon himself to dismantle and dispose of the old single wide trailer, which was nice, because he was wanting to acquire the property. Since then, that owner has gone away, but the city has expressed interest in this property. And then, kind of an interesting note, when we foreclosed on it and was doing the deed research, this tax lot 1502, it was one time prior to the state highway coming, this was one platted lot. The state highway came, cut them in half. The owners at the time that sold this lot forgot to include that piece up there, and it wasn't caught. We didn't catch that mistake until we did our deed research and we started the foreclosure proceedings here. So we had to create that tax lot, put it in the name of the owner at the time that was still alive that sold it to him. He really doesn't want it. And the city has verbally told me that they would assume this property if they could get a hold of this one too. So I think that's a win-win for everybody.
What's Morrow County do with 1701? I guess it's looking at 1501 looks to be more connected to 1701. Is that, or what is
1701 is actually city property.
Yes.
The label Morrow County that gets printed on the maps as it goes.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw that like,
Yeah.
well, that one, okay.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No.
Perfect. I got confused for a second. Sorry.
So
I don't know.
I just have a question, Mike.
Mhm.
So why is 1501 there, and why is there this gap? Is this
That used to be a street.
Street. This,
Oh, so it's a vacated.
Yep.
like the other
Easy.
side.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, for us confused too, it's like maybe the other side kind of the same thing.
It's like why doesn't this just go all the way through? But if it's a vacated, but so who
1701, the city of Bayonne owns.
would own that easement property? Okay.
And so I think that answers the questions kind of I had is that, yeah, so 1701 would be able to gain legal access off the highway here to access it. And if the city of Bayonne already owns this, then,
Then they've got access.
because that was going to be my concern if somebody else owned this and the city of Bayonne acquired this, and if this wasn't a legal access, then.
Yeah, but the
What
state-
was landlocked.
No, the state highways legal access.
Yeah,
So
But it would be, yeah. I think the plan is to carry this and make this go all the way around. That's what I think. And go through there. But as
but if it,
to continue the city park.
they'll continue that road and
Oh,
give RVs another route to come out that's not a sharp turn like that.
oh, okay.
I don't know. It's not like Dave said. That's for the people who end up owning these properties to deal with the unique challenges that come with them.
so 1501, I mean, if it had a single wide on it, it's obviously a buildable person, very small. And it was pretty much what
It's
the trailer.
yeah, it's 0.06 of an acre. It's not even.
Oh, okay.
It's like 600ths of an acre.
It probably is not technically allowable under city code
Okay,
to do anything with it.
okay.
I suspect it's one of those things where it got put up and then
Yeah, it had a probably
grandfathered.
late 60s, early 70s before planning laws. You know, they just moved something in there.
Okay. And the next one is one that we've
Already talked, yeah, we worked on that.
Yeah.
been working on, is the gas station.
Yep.
There, and
So and then the board took action on that. Or not action, but to move forward with certain paths.
so where are we on that?
Still working with working with the city of Iowa to make sure they understand they're okay with taking it and that they're going to utilize it for a public purpose for that period. It's kind of it's like, okay, you use it for a park. Were they thinking, well, maybe we want to do something else and just sell it or something? But
Yeah, if it was given to them, they could not sell it for 20 years.
so that's the consideration of like, should be fine with it, but then taking it down and then those different parts with it there, as long as they're okay with it. But that's the key, is making sure they might look at it after a bit and can sort of all of a sudden, like someone said, city council said, well, why do we have this, this pill? We don't want this.
Because, I do see that the property could have some value, if, for instance, I lived in a home and I didn't have a garage or a shop on my property. This would be a place you could buy that and
Yeah, they tear that down and build one, but yeah, you could do it.
or use the building for storage and, it's a place to park your RV, your snowmobile trailer, whatever. Fence it and park it, so
I had
I
a
see
friend,
where it could have value to somebody
when I was
to.
doing real estate, I had a private citizen who was really interested in that. And they didn't care about the environment. But I still think, I don't know how much they're willing to pay for it, probably not very much. But there was some private.
If it fits into some kind of plan they have to enhance their town, then I have never you as a real estate agent, you had someone inquire. I've had no one inquire about this property since we've taken it in the last 5 years, since it began the foreclosure process. Just I think primarily because it was an old gas station and people are wary of
But if it's got a clean bill of health from DEQ.
yeah, that may be a different thing now.
Yeah,
But
that's-
you know, Okay.
So I guess the thought, yeah, that's what we're moving on, but we're not moving on, but we decided to change our mind on that. I remember we haven't taken the action. Because the board still have to decide once the city says, yeah, we're okay with that. Always change their mind.
If they do, and
They may not.
and they may say, we don't.
Yeah.
And then go to auction, and then that's it. And then Jeff, you can buy it.
I don't live in the city of my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for me to try it.
He's got a shop.
Actually, none of us can purchase any foreclosed properties from the county where their statute prevents us from doing that.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, thank you for that clarification, Mike.
What's that?
Spouses?
And spouses
Okay.
and members of the household,
Even at auction.
even at auction.
All right.
Okay, next we move up to Irigan, southeast Irigan, 13th place. We have just over a half-acre lot with a 1984 manufactured home. I suggest that we engage the sheriff and set a date and hold an auction for this and a few other properties, but I think it'd be the best thing, an as-is thing. It can help determine a starting bid, and we'll see what comes out of that. If a property goes to auction and it doesn't sell, then the county can entertain sealed bids or offers. Somebody come in and say, I'll give you $5,000 or something for it, and you can accept or deny that offer. I assume, though, that somebody would, purchase this, even if the home's doesn't have any value. At least, it's a good lot, corner lot. So,
Yeah, I agree.
all right, and then just around the corner, not too far away, we have this bare lot in here again. I think it might have an old shed or something on it, but there's no residential structure. Same thing. I think we send this to auction. And now we move back down to Hetner. And this is not too far away from that creek parcel. It's just a little bit north. So we have a tax lot here that's in the floodway, that has some old improvements on it. Some old duplex or triplex.
Really small duplex.
Yeah, and they're not much. They've been abandoned for a long time. The city has expressed interest in this.
Have they expressed what their interest would be in it?
I don't know. I didn't ask that, but we can ask that question. We can.
The floodway or floodplain?
I don't know that for sure. I know it has flood issues.
Because that's different, Floodplain, there is a possibility you can build. Floodway, forget about it.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. We'd have to do that research. I'm kind of assuming that you could probably maybe rebuild in the same footprint of what is existing, but that may not be the most ideal thing. It's like really skinny and long improvement there. So.
What's your recommendation on that?
Well, I said we can,
Auction.
either give to the city or auction. I mean,
I think that makes sense.
I'd say that we put it up for auction. If it doesn't sell, then we offer it to the city.
Well, okay, and I can appreciate that. But let's move on to the next one here. It's just right south of it.
So this is the chain. Here's the 5001 we just talked about. Here's the 7000, which is a really good sized piece of property. It is right up against the creek, so it's going to have flood.
Yeah, and there's no existing structures on it. It's bare land. I think those are just somebody was parking some trailers or something there. Anyway,
And then you've
Yeah.
got the 770.99.
yeah, and the city has expressed interest in this, and I was under the assumption they kind of wanted a package deal between the two.
Well, I'd be very interested in what their plan is, and if they can, make a good case for this is how we're going to use it for the public good. And if it's also floodway and we can't build anything on it, which also I would want to know what are they going to do with it. But if it's buildable, that lot is going to be worth something.
Well, I had a neighbor ask about this one too, but mainly it was to get rid of the eyesore.
Yeah.
He don't like his house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about it was an eyesore? Just out of curiosity.
Well, it's just an old decrepit structure there, and then
Oh, that's the 50,
right.
not the 7,000.
No, well, then weeds.
The weeds were high.
Yeah. So I was going to wait until we got to another property, but since it's been brought up, are we responsible for the weed management on those properties?
Yes.
Because the one in Lexington gives me some serious concerns. It's got, I don't know, 4-foot tall rye in that yard.
I get a call from that neighbor,
Yeah.
usually, and then just pass it on.
We have not been very proactive on the management of these properties. That's something that Boardman just recently did one where they were enforcing their weed hide things. So we had to go mow those 2 acres that we have on Columbia Drive. And it's pretty pricey and you have to have a water tender over there as well. So we're looking to kill that down. These others, we have not maintained them as well. We did the one in Lexington, we went through and cleaned out last year. We should be a little more proactive. It's just personnel and resources, but it really should be. We should be a better standard bearer for compliance with.
Well, the other thing
city's
we got
requirements.
too, Matt, is you don't have to worry about it if you unload that thing at,
Yeah,
at whatever price.
Right. So
Messing with-
this is our first step in
Yeah.
dealing with these, and what my hope is well, my initial hope is that we don't have to foreclose on anything ever again. But of course, we know that's not going to happen. So when and if we do have to foreclose on something, let's just when these new foreclosure rules, there's going to be some cleanup legislation in 27. I'm very confident of that. To clean up some conflicting statutes, maybe reduce some of the requirements that are just outlandish. Just recently there was another Supreme Court case that was decided dealing with the excess funds where the county, a county not in Oregon, I think it was in Minnesota, again, where that Tyler Hennepin decision came from, that the county had auctioned the property and it auctioned it off. The highest bid was much less than what somebody had thought the market value would be. So the previous owner or an heir of the previous owners sued the county and said, hey, our excess funds are not what you sold it for, it's what you should have sold it for, the market value. And the Supreme Court says, no, they followed how they're supposed to do it. And that was the high bid they sold. And whatever excess funds were there, that's too bad, so sad, So that's good.
Well, the thing about that is too, and that kind of thinking is, the seller doesn't get to establish the price, the market establishes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so it's hard to argue when you put it on auction.
It is. So anyway, back to my point I was trying to make is that, we'll just set an auction time, or we may be able to utilize There's a number of counties looking at this. The auction site that Sandy uses for disposing of equipment, they have a real property component to that, and so I believe it's Clatsop County is actually utilizing that for their auction thing. So we're already using that anyway, so that would be great. Then we can start that process and get it going. If no one buys it, then we can regroup and decide how best to get rid of it. So anyway, all right. So we'll move on. I think we're down to Lexington now,
Mhm.
and this just east of Main Street or the main highway. Right? Do I have the right? Yes, East Street. Yeah, this has got an old house on it. I would suggest that we put it up for auction.
Livable.
I don't believe it is now. I
Um,
think it could be.
This is the one that we cleaned up a year or so ago.
Yeah.
This is the one that Sheriff Bowles went in and there was a pretend bomb in there.
Oh,
Yeah, some sticks painted up like dynamite, and he got pretty excited.
Well, that would be exciting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So actually, it was Corey and Eric going in. They got excited, and the sheriff was the first one to respond.
Mhm.
And he was able to determine its true nature once he poked his head over the windowsill. It was good stuff. So we've kept this one. The city has actually expressed interest. It is
the town of Lexington has.
yeah, yeah, the town has. I mean, it would have to be a complete rebuild of it. I mean, I don't know how structurally sound it is. The structure's still there, though.
It's an interesting building in Lexington.
Yeah, there.
Mhm.
So I might, I think it's like that looks like not a bad property if you want to build many items.
Yeah, so an auction item probably would be pretty easy.
Mhm.
Even if the city was interested, they could put press in.
Well, and if the city buys it at auction, then there's no deed restrictions for it.
Exactly.
The city should love it going to auction because then it's on the tax base. If the city owns it, then
Right.
you're not collecting any taxes off.
Yeah.
In Lexington, I mean, what municipality doesn't need money, but Lexington really needs money.
Yeah. Yep.
Taxes and water fees.
Yeah.
You build on there, then you
Yeah.
get on that sewer water.
All right, now we're go back down in Ione, just west of town. We found this little lot when I believe they were partitioning these lots. Was that
This is an interesting one because this, the owner of parcel 1009 was interested and has actually been maintaining it.
yes?
And he came in right before the moratorium came in and we weren't able to get it switched over.
Yeah.
So he would be very interested in taking over that property. Well, I think he would still.
I absolutely believe so.
So this one would be easy just to approach that owner.
Yes.
And then absorb it into it. It's only like 30 feet wide and that whole stretch down to the creek.
Mhm.
And so it seems like it was an axis of some kind, but we can't find where wide was.
No, it was it was a deed omission from, back before, people hired surveyors and stuff and had to do partition plats to divide property. They would just, describe something using a map. And, we all know that, a section or a township has 36 sections and a section is 640 acres until it's not, right? So it was,
Give, markers like my dad does. We'll turn where the grain bins used to be.
yeah.
What they used to be.
Right. Right. So you'll find that a lot because, there is 5,280 feet in a mile, but there's not always a mile in a section, because they can be bigger or littler. Oh, anyway, yeah, deed this to the surrounding owner. He calls me every 6 months.
So who owns 2301 and the one below it?
2301 is Morrow County Green Growers. It used to be Jeff Ionetic and his IRT, and 2301 is Tim Holtz.
Yeah. Because again, I realize that these may not reflect the reality, but looks like 2301 is using part of 2303. So, if we sell it to 1009, are the other two going to say, oh, wait, I would have liked to have had that to make my property bigger?
Yeah.
And so how do you solve that?
I would justify this saying that 2303 encompasses all the full line of 1009 and only a portion of 2301 and a portion of the one below it.
Yeah.
That would be my
That's
justification.
my question on that other piece. When you have multiple adjacent property owners, how do you decide which one?
Gets it.
So, and like Mike says, if you have some kind of standard to stick to it, that's all. That's fine with me. It's just, the one with the most spacing property.
And it sounds like the owner of 1009 has already been taking care of it. And if Morrow County Growers is sort of using it, it might be kind of fudging that line already anyways.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
All right, so now we move back on to Hebner. And here, this is Water Street, like you're gonna go up to the sheriff's office. Here we have this property. It has 2 residences on it, but neither of them are very sound. And I just mentioning this. We're in the same vicinity. It's just south of the creek of the old duplex or triplex and the bare lot, and just kind of south of the part that was in the middle of the creek. I have not for a while, but I have had people interested in that property.
I sold it once, and that was 10 years ago.
You should have sold it to someone to pay the taxes.
Yeah.
What's that?
You should have sold it to someone that paid the taxes.
Oh. All right, so now we're back in Lexington. We're heading out towards Black Horse Canyon. So the owner of the surrounding property has expressed a lot of interest in buying this, and they claimed that not just because of how the picture looks, where you can see this lot line goes through, they say, the kitchen. We engaged with County Surveyor Matt Kenny to go, see what he could look at it, and his response said, doesn't quite go through the whole house, but it does catch a corner.
So hold on, does lot 200 go around it in kind of a U shape?
No,
No.
those are dedicated roads and streets.
Yeah. So right here, Gus, if you want to look this way, this is the city street.
Okay, with buildings.
It's just unbuilt. It's just
Okay.
It's a platted street that's unbuildable.
But those buildings are for Lexington to deal with, not us.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
yeah.
I just want to understand.
Mike and
Yeah.
Justin educated me during this meeting, saying we have streets that are not dedicated, and we have dedications that aren't streets. And this is one of those ones where
It's a dedicated.
it's a street that doesn't exist.
Street.
Yeah.
Okay. Street that isn't street.
So the owner of tax lot 500, the same owner of tax lot 200, and I believe I believe he owns this tax lot you can't see and this one. He owns all of this. He probably utilizes this old barn and stuff too. Same family. He's really interested in this.
If he wants to fix that house up, I mean, I drive by that house on a fairly regular basis. Man, it would be cool.
It is a neat looking old house.
And someone to take care of that, right?
So my suggestion with this would be, because of the home being built, basically kind of across the property line, or at least catching the corner of it, that could selling it at an auction would be challenging. I believe. I think that really inhibits the value of this property having that issue. I think it'd be this property is value is probably 15,000 or less, and I would suggest that we approach the landowner and see if we can get the neighboring landowner, see if we can get the taxes and stuff out of it at least.
Well, we can't. Can we keep the excess anyways? No. So if we could get what's owed to us, then that's the best we can do anyways. So yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you double check on this, this is the newer one over the law, or is this prior?
That's prior. This one's prior.
So, oh,
All of these are the prior ones.
okay, this doesn't do,
I haven't deeded anything over yet
yeah.
to that are after that, getting their 1 year redemption notice
Mhm.
prior to May 25th, 2023 or something.
You have a question?
So let's review. So adverse possession. If you've used the property
For 10
for a period of time.
Open
I
the
mean,
door.
so would that apply in this case? I mean,
If-
obviously the house was built a
But they
long
go
time
through
ago.
That's a circuit court process. They would have to go through.
that process before we got ownership of it. So I'm not sure if we would go through. Right, so you're saying it's they could have, or it doesn't have an automatic say they can make the claim, whoever does, could possibly make the claim for it. Yeah, because you're right, it's been open.
So can we do adverse possession of 200 then?
Just enough for the house and
Yeah.
the septic.
Yeah. So I guess my thought behind this,
Yeah, I
you
mean-
could sell it to the neighboring landowner who calls me every 2 to 3 months.
They want it then, or they?
They do want it, and they could make the appropriate property line adjustment, whatever deemed necessary to make it usable. And I think that's the best way to treat this one. We can get the taxes out of it. That's my suggestion.
So, but this one, so this is a buildable lot.
It has a house on it.
And it's already got a house on it.
So
But it's the amount, right? We're saying that it's, and that's the argument Pink, that's less than the 15,000 if,
Because it has encroachment issues.
okay.
so that's the basis. Normally, otherwise, then yeah, we go through an auction still.
So how much for taxes are owed on that property?
I would have to go back and look, but it's I don't know, under $10,000.
Okay, so I mean, if we can get what we're owed,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't make more than that anyways, then yeah, I'm okay with that.
What we're owed, any costs that we have associated with it, and they pay all the recording fees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if that still lands at under 15,000, then
Cool.
screw that. We can't bid on some of this. I bid on some of this, but I can't. Okay. Oh, well.
All right, now we're over in Boardman, down on Blaylock Street, which is
West of this.
west of City Hall. Thank you. There's a city lot with a believe a early 90s manufactured home on it. I say we just, we engage the sheriff and send it to auction with the other auction items we're going to have.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. So looking at this, we've got items. If we kind of go down the list, 2 through 3, we'll do some investigation on public access road items. There's that little sliver of land right outside of Irrigan city limits, incorporated into their right of way or deeded over to them somehow. We've got 3 parcels in Hefner that will reach out to the city of Hefner to ascertain what their needs and desires are on that. And then we have a couple that we can contact neighbors, particularly the ones of de minimis value, and see if they're willing to pay the property tax amendments to take that over. The others, we have a good handful of 7 or 8 that we would take to auction. And we can start getting those actions in line with that direction from the Board of Commissioners.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sounds good to me.
I don't know. Anything else you need, Mike or Justin?
No, just will you be reaching out to like the city of Hebner and the city of Ione to get their intents? I will review all of the values on the ones that are going to auction, and the ones we are going to reach out to the neighboring landowners, and review what taxes were owed and see if and we can have that discussion. And then once for the ones going to auction, there will be an ordering that with that list of properties, and then we engage with the sheriff to they take it from there. They advertise, but they charge us for it, of course. But when I say charges, that whoever the county gets billed for that time, and then they hold the auction, and so that'll be good.
If the auction is for more than what the taxes on it were owed, what happens to the excess?
We send it down to the Department of Treasury and let them deal with it.
Okay,
Now,
great, perfect.
the money, the new rule where it gets distributed to the taxing districts, or is it not to the general fund, or is that the?
Well, so we have to identify what costs, administrative costs we have in that. And that will include, whatever fees the sheriff is going to charge, whatever time staff has into preparing this.
Case in point, that last property in Lexington, we had to have a survey work on that.
Yep.
So that would be attached to it. And
Yep. And so this it goes to auction, it gets paid. The county recoups what their fees are, for the auction, for the surveyor, for staff time, whatever. And then what's left, if it's below if there's no excess proceeds, then that portion, the county orders the treasurer to distribute to the taxing districts.
Now, does, you don't survey every property, it's meets and bounds, right? I mean, it's just a legal description.
Correct. We just,
Only survey the ones that might be difficult.
well, this is the first time we've ever engaged a surveyor, and he did not complete a full survey. He went out and found some corner pins and shot some lines.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's good.
And that was only because we had that building.
Yes.
So I'm saying, the ones that may be difficult, then you have those done.
Yep.
The rest of them, it's usually.
Yeah. And generally, if we were more proactive on maintenance, we'd put all the maintenance costs.
Absolutely. Which I guess that's as we enroll ourselves into this process, we'll do a better job of doing it. I mean, I've since I've been tax collector, I've been wanting to do something like this. But with turnover of commissioners, county administrators,
One,
treasurers, it's
it's
just,
just this month, Dave and I got here, we both got an email. We were going to Craig, who was the interim. And then things happened and then the
yeah,
Supreme Court decision and
yes.
so, yeah. So it will be after I'm gone, because like you said, in 2027, it'll get cleaned up. I would hope that the county adopts a policy that's in place so that everybody knows this is how we deal with foreclosed.
Right, right. And I've been, I'm a part of the group, the Oregon Public Property Managers Association, who's very heavily involved with this new foreclosure legislation, and very robust group. Anyway, I'm just kind of waiting for one of the, not necessarily a large county, but a larger than Morrow County outfit to, put together a policy, or maybe get them 2 or 3 policies, and we can pick out what's going to work for Morrow County.
Yeah.
Instead of having to start from scratch, we can
don't
have something that works. Yeah.
One thing about maintaining the property, I don't know in the county at large if our compliance covers weeds. You know, Matt, doesn't it?
What's that?
Does compliance cover weeds and brush and stuff?
Nuisance property, I don't know if we have a specific height that we have for the county.
Yeah.
Right.
Statement would be, if we're asking other people to do it.
We better.
We've been.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Aaron's been on the county's ass about the 13th Street
Yeah.
properties.
well, all cities have. Yeah, city of Hefner has. We've had to deal with
Okay.
over the years. Yeah, so.
I know that he sent Tony or somebody down to clean up the 13th, like last year.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. The properties we say were in the floodway down here. Yeah, I think that Tony's mowed those a time or two.
But, and that's back to, we should be
Make sure we
keeping
keep track
track
of
of,
those costs.
and
Yeah.
even on that, if we go back
Absolutely.
and, maybe his time card or something reflect that he spent, and assign a couple hours of his.
Maybe it could be part of the new ERP.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if you remember, but right at the turn of the new year, I requested that you appoint me foreclosed property manager. Just I'm like, so I could just start dealing with some of this stuff because it just wasn't happening. Of course, I'm usually the first person somebody calls to complain. And I'm like, oh, that's out of my hands. I have no authority to do anything with those properties unless I deed them over. And I'll just transfer them over to Matt or Valerie.
No? Do you have everything you need from us for?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
okay, we'll call this session adjourned.
Okay, now we'll have a real quick discussion.